Happy Friday, folks, and welcome to the Iron Sysadmin Weekly Tech News Recap for the week of September 19th. Alright, first up we have a new release from Gnome 49. Most notably, the X11 changes that they said they were going to continue to include into Gnome 49 for compatibility purposes apparently were removed. So, there you go. Among some other changes, the Evince document viewer was replaced with an application called Papers. The Totem video player was replaced with an application called Showtime. There were some improvements to the icons in the file browser, and the Epiphany web browser got a fresh look, and some improvements in their permissions pop up. And a number of other changes that aren't quite as notable, but you'll probably want to check the link in the description of the video for those details. Alright, we also have some Linux distributions with some beta announcements. We've got Fedora 43 beta. You can read about that on Fedora magazine. I didn't see anything earth-shattering in the announcement, but among the changes that I did read about, the Anaconda web UI, which is a different installation GUI, the one that you've been seeing with the Fedora base installer, is now on by default for all of the Fedora spins as well. There were some build and packaging improvements, and some development runtime updates like Python 3.14 and Golang 1.25. In other Linux beta news, LMDE, or the Linux Mint Debian edition, has reached beta 7. I couldn't find a ton of information as to what's changed between the last release and this beta, but I did find that it's based on Debian 13. And if you're unfamiliar with LMDE, this is a Linux Mint, derivative that's based on Debian directly instead of based on Ubuntu like Linux Mint itself is. And apparently the purpose is to make sure that if something were ever to happen to Ubuntu, you could still build Linux Mint directly from Debian, which I think is kind of cool. At any rate, if you're an LMDE user, you may want to read the Linux Mint blog, where they outline the new beta. And if you're a Node developer, you're going to want to know about this particular news. There is a worm that's spreading through Node NPM registries. And I may mispronounce this. The Shai-Hulud worm. Hulud? I don't know. Apparently it's a word for sandworms, like in Dune. I never heard them called that. Whatever. Anyway, this is a supply chain attack. This worm works by executing a bundle in the post-execution phase of a node build. I'm not a node developer. I don't really understand what exactly that means, although I get the concept, right? It executes this bundle, which installs itself into node modules. And then people go and download these modules to put into their projects, or maybe they pull in updates for their projects, and along with it, they get this worm. The worm is apparently, at the time of the writing of the article that I've linked in the description anyway, impacting almost 200 different node registries or node projects. And as far as they can tell, this thing is designed to steal credentials and send them off to the bad guys. So if you're a node developer and you have third-party modules in your code base, which who doesn't? Then you probably want to check and find out if the modules that you're using may be impacted by this, and if you've pulled in any updates recently, if your project is also impacted. So be on the lookout. And that's sort of it. Kind of a light week for news this week, but I hope you guys have enjoyed watching this little bit of a news broadcast that I've been putting together. If you have any comments or feedback or just want to interact, please feel free to leave a comment. Make sure to like and subscribe if you want to hear from me on the weekly basis, which this is the 4th time around now. I've been doing this for a month. I hope that it continues on. So I will see you in the next one.